Justice, please, can you take the welcome address?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, well, welcome to the trade trainer section for SP for Young Professionals. So, this trade trainer section is very essential because we carry out each body. We have ALP, that's Ambassador Lecturer Program, and ALPEnergy4Me. So actually, it's just like when you get employed in the company, definitely you have to pass through training program. So this training workshop is actually very important. Yeah, and we we want to make it the first thing that happens before we start going for energy program ALP. So I want to welcome everyone, especially on the call. Yeah, I'm seeing some dignitaries. I'm going to make an introduction later on, but I'm welcoming everyone. So the section is going to be an innovative, educative section. If you actually think you know all that pertains ALP and energy processing, yeah, I'm telling you that there's still more to know, and you're going to know more. So just come in an open mind to learn, unlearn, and also relearn. So thank you very much, and look forward to an interesting section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Justice, for that welcome address. Thank you so much. So, moving on to the agenda from the opening prayer, we've already taken the welcome address. So, we're moving on to the safety brief. So, I know this is an online event, and it's not like we're expecting any drills or any emergency. So, please, but we need to mute our mic when we're not speaking. And we know that we are joining from different locations. So just be on alert. Be aware of your environment. If you're using an earpiece or AirPod, please also be conscious just in case of any alarms or sound around you. And when you want to speak, please raise your hands to speak. Then you can use the comment and the question chat box to send in your questions when you want to ask a question. Please don't speak when someone else is speaking. Just raise your hand and your questions will be attended to. Okay, so moving on to that, welcome once again to the ALP Sectis Train the Trainer. To deliver an effective ALP and ALPEnergy4Me series for this 4th year, we need to be trained so that we can deliver effectively and still bring the award home. So please, if you have questions, if there's something that you don't understand at the course of this training, please do well to send in your questions to the chat box, and we have capable speakers to answer those questions. Okay, so please, the next on our item is introduction of the speakers. So we have like a lot of speakers with a wealth of knowledge in ALP, and the first speaker would be Dorcas Jimmy Otiskuro. So Dorcas Otiskuro is a Christian, an experienced researcher, lecturer, consultant, and coordinator in the academic space, energy industry, and professional organization, who is committed in adding value to the world at large through small units and teams. She is currently a PhD petroleum engineer scholar in Masters of Technology degree and has made over 7 publications, both in local and international journals, having knowledge in Python, HISIS, Petran, and the likes. Her passion for volunteerism has won her many awards, including the top 5 qualified applicants of the maiden SP PHCT YP Entrepreneurship Competition, as well as the YP Scholarship Program and the SP Nigerian Council Way Awards. So this here is our own very the the mother of our youngest SP member, Pere. So Dorcas Jimmy Otis Kuro. Okay, so the next speaker we have on the list is Justice. Okay, Shina. Shina Owusu Ansa is an operation geologist with Eni Ghana Exploration and Production Limited. She has been working in the upstream petroleum industry for the past 13 years and counting. She now started her career in the industry as a geoscientist and later as a drill bit sales specialist with Baker Hughes, working for different clients across sub-Saharan African countries. In her current role, she coordinates geological activities before, during, and after the drilling of a well. She also worked deep offshore as a well site geologist, supervising mud logging, conventional coring, wireline logging, and logging while drilling activities. Shina is currently the SP Ghana Section Chair, having previously served the section in the capacity of Diversity and Inclusion Chair and Secretary. She loves mentoring young professionals and young girls to pursue STEM careers, voluntary work, traveling to new places, and networking. So that's Shina also answer. Shina, you're welcome once again. The next on our list is our very own YP chair, Justice Barry Befev Vidigo is an astute professional, a graduate of petroleum engineering from the River State University of Science and Technology. He is a NEBOSH certified HSC professional committed to ensuring safety procedures and policies are carefully and properly implemented. He is a dedicated volunteer and has volunteered for SP from being a student member as assistant secretary and president of SP RSU chapter. He transitioned to a young professional member and has led the YP ALP team for 3 years with Port Harcourt section, winning the ALP Outstanding Achievement Award twice in those 3 years. He is the current YP chairperson for SP section 103. He has worked for SPDC as the HSC supervisor and is currently the HSC team lead for Argol International Limited. He loves volunteering, swimming, and football. A dedicated Arsenal fan. So that's Justice. So welcome once again, Justice. We are glad to have you here. And the last but not the least on our list of speaker is Mistura Badru. Mistura Yusuf Badru is a process engineer with Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals with close to 5 years experience. She is a 2023 Young Professional Chairperson for SP Africa Workshop. She has held several leadership positions with SP locally and internationally. Mistura is a multi-international award-winning winner within SP International, with the most recent being Giovanni Paccaloni's SP Award for Young Professionals. She is the founder of Misty B's Educational Foundation, who is passionate about education and STEM. She's a serial volunteer with several organizations like Mathematics for Life, amongst others. Mistura is married to an engineer and they are blessed with a new daughter. Okay. Mistura, you're welcome and we are glad to have you here. So we've seen our speakers and we know that they have a lot for us today. So please let's sit back and ask as many questions as possible. So moving on to the next on our agenda is the train the trainer proper, and the person to be anchoring this section is no other person than our own YP Mama, Dorcas Jimmy Otis Kulu. So please, Mrs. Dorcas, you can take the floor now.
Hi everyone, I hope I can go ahead.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so just in case you hear any extra voice in the background, just know that I'm delivering the section with Perowe as my co-lecturer. All right, so good afternoon.
I hope I can go ahead.
Definitely. Yes, you can go ahead, Lucas. Yes.
Okay. So just in case you hear any extra voice in the background, just know that delivering the section with. I'm not sure why I'm echoing. Is it just at my end that it is echoing, or?
Yes, it is
No,
only
you're
on
not
your
echoing
end.
from here.
Hello?
You're fine from here. You're not echoing here.
Oh, okay. At my end, it was echoing. Okay. All right. So, okay. Thank you. I see they've already shared my screen, so no need to ask for host right to do the sharing of the screen. All right. So once again, this is ALPEnergy4Me here to deliver a lecture on delivering a sustainable ALPs and energy for me. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Port Harcourt section, for this rare opportunity to be here and to deliver this lecture. So please, can you go to the next slide? All right, so why am I here, right? Like Justice said during his opening remarks, I'm here to deliver a lecture on Train the Trainer. What does it mean, right? So because, first of all, you need to know what it means first, and then also we then move to how to be able to deliver a sustainable ALP or energy for me. So when you talk about Train the Trainer section, can I share from my end? I really prefer to, so I don't have to keep doing the next slide thing. Is that okay? Thank you. Just a second here. So please, let's confirm we can see my screen. Hello?
Yes, your screen is visible.
I can see your screen.
You can see your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so when we talk about Train the Trainer, we're talking about a workshop like this, a session where those who have done the task before, or in this case, we're narrowing down to ALP and energy for me. So, but Train the Trainer section or workshop is a place where it's a gathering or a workshop where those who have gone the road before equipped those who want to go down that road. All right. So that's why we are here, okay, to equip YPs and volunteers who want to be able to deliver a sustainable ALP and energy for me section. All right. So for you to be a train the trainer or to be qualified to train the trainer, first of all, the trainer itself, or I mean herself or himself, has to be someone that is ready to train others. All right. And then also someone that is normally or would be in a training session, you know, conducting of training section. And then, of course, at the same time, you're teaching those people you're training. You're not just training them to be equipped to do that task, but you're also training them to be able to train others also in the future. Is a means of continuity because you may not always be there, or even if you're always there, it's also good, or it will also be nice for you to grow, become like a supervisor or a support team member or so. So it's a way of developing others or creating the space for others to grow also. All right. So if you're going to be a trainer, it's not just the normal thing you do, right? There are certain requirements to this, okay? First of all, that's trainer, the person that is training those other persons has to have an expertise in the content or in whatever you're training others or preparing others for. All right, so that means in summary, you must know what subject they are teaching, okay? And then secondly, that person also has to be able to convey or send out that idea to those around, that they will understand the person perfectly fine. Because like I always tell people, some persons have a very beautiful and amazing knowledge, but being able to transfer it to the next person sometimes is a bit of a difficulty. So someone that has to be in that trainer position or in that trainer seat has to first know what they're going to train other people on, and then secondly, be able to send out the message or tell the story in a very simple way that other people will be able to understand it. So as a trainer, you are going to need, there's need for, as in training needs analysis. You can either be an industry expert, okay? Now, in this case, we're talking about ALP and Energy4Me. So maybe you can say you need to be a volunteering expert, all right? The trainer also has to be ready to be willing to learn and keep developing, because you can never know it all. You can never get to that point where you don't learn anymore. So the trainer has to have that, meet the requirement of wanting to learn and wanting to develop the investments, okay? You don't know what you're doing. You don't know if what you're doing is climbing up the ladder, or if you're doing well or doing great, if you don't have or experience that assessment phase. Although, like we used to tease in those days while we were in school, we say school sweet, but now exam nine spoil them. Yes, exam spoil them, honestly, but then also it gives you that qualification that yes, you are ready or good enough for this particular thing or task that is expected of you. And then, of course, the trainer also has to have potentials and have excellent results. When I say excellent results, I don't mean like perfect results. You have to be perfect at all you do. Let's say, like, for example, now we're talking about ALPs. So we're talking about ALPs and Energy4Me. It doesn't mean that you always have to have 100 success ALPs delivery, or say doing experiments. There are some experiments that involves in Energy4Me. You do those experiments perfectly fine. No, we're just saying there should be results where you can see that, oh, I'm doing well, or where I'm not doing well, I need to adjust, but there has to be results, okay? And then, of course, evaluation. The evaluation will have to be with the trainer now, taking out an exercise or trying out what they've learned, what they've been assessed on, what they saw a result and say, oh, I'm doing well. My result says I'm doing well. So they need to evaluate that by either, like I said, have a section like this, or literally go and deliver an ALP, or those you've trained, you encourage them, or you spur them into the desire to deliver an ALP, and you see how they do. So that says, okay, yes, you did a good job while doing the training. All right. So of course, when you look at all of this, it's into a phase, or it's divided into 4 phases. The first one would be the trainer talking to the people they are training, which is what we're doing here right now. Okay. And then the second phase would be the trainer listening to the students that they just trained to, tell them or to teach them what they have learned, what they've taught them. Yeah. And then, of course, the third phase would be sending out that your student to actually try to train someone else. All right. And then let's say that's your student, or the supervisor then becomes that trainer. Then if your student did well in training someone else, then that trainer is then considered to the level of a supervisor. So what they then do is watch over or supervise their students continuing to train other persons. All right. So why do we need to do, or why are we having the train the trainer section? First of all, it's like the topic for the ALP says, the workshop says, delivering a sustainable ALP. So train the trainer section is a very powerful learning method. For example, now all of us on this call, except you're just here to while away time or your data. If not, I believe you're going to leave this place learning something new, something apt, something that can impact you as a person, inspire you as a person to want to volunteer more, especially in the ALP and energy space, and be able to learn what you're supposed to do while delivering this ALP or energy for me. And then also it's a win-win game, because both the trainer, like I said, the trainer learns, and then those people that are listening, or those people that the trainer is training, also learn. So it's a win-win game. It's not like a spongy situation where the sponge only absorbs the water. Yeah, it's more like a tank situation where fluid flows in and fluid is flowing back out. Okay, so it's a win-win situation. And then also it helps you, the trainer yourself, to be able to build your skills. Yeah, because from training others, you're going to have to learn communication skills, you're going to have to learn interpersonal skills. You even need to learn normal character or attributes of patience and, good conduct, because some of your students or some of the people you're training may be slow at these things. I mean, I've had cases where I've gone ALP and energy for me with YPs for like 4-5 times, and you're still convincing them, okay, why not share your story with this student, or why not tell the student what you do in the industry or wherever you're found? And they still find it a bit difficult to do that, either because they are still shy or they are worried about making mistakes. So you're going to have patience, okay, to be able to tell that person next time again. Just keep reminding them in a courteous and inspiring way, okay? So it helps you to build different skills, either transferable or functional skills, or personal traits and attitudes, like I said. And then also, of course, knowledge base, because if you're training your ALP group members or other YPs on a specific experiments for energy for me, definitely you are gaining knowledge too. You'll be surprised. I tell people sometimes that one reason why I enjoy or I love to do energy for me is because even I myself, as I'm doing those local experiments for those students, I am also learning something. I'm also appreciating petroleum engineering the more as a petroleum engineer. Okay, so it's also knowledge base for even the trainer and also the person, the trainee, the person being trained. Okay, and then of course you get to leave a life-lasting impact and your name in history, because I know that till tomorrow, if I ever want to tell my SP story, I would definitely have Engineer Bada in the story. I'll have the likes of AJ, Kim Kama in the story. I'll also have the likes of Tony, Anthony Nwachuku in the story, because these were the YPs or professionals in those days when I started SP newly, when I started to volunteer for SP in 2019, that kept on encouraging me or spurring me, or just tell me, okay, just join us and watch and see what we do. All right. So they've been able to leave their name in history. All right. And they've been able to make a life-lasting impact on me in that space. So yeah. So, and several other benefits or several other reasons why you should conduct a trainer section such as this. All right. 1 second here, my screen is freezing. All right, so what are the benefits of why you should be a trainer? Now, there are several benefits, too numerous to mention, yeah. But for me, I speak from personal experience. One way or how you can become a trainer person is if you constantly volunteer and go out for ALPs and energy for me section, right? So why are you doing that, or what impact can it create for you as a person? Outside the previous things we mentioned of what you would learn and all that, being an ALP person, or should I say an expert in ALP, or having a desire and love for ALP and energy for me, doing it constantly, it will also give you the opportunity to be able to gain experience presenting to a large crowd. Yeah, you say, oh, those are children, or it's different from presenting from adult. No, one thing I have come to realize in my mind is if it's a large crowd, it's a large crowd, whether children or adults. So doing this Energy for Me and ALP session has given me the opportunity to be able to stand before a large crowd and present without being scared or without being shy or fidgeting or any of those things. Of course, also it will give you that opportunity to learn and build your leadership skills, because sometimes, or many times, if not always, you will be the one to lead other young YPs coming in this space. So that is you building leadership skills, all right? And then also, of course, it will bring you visibility, because you're going places, you're going to schools, universities, secondary schools, and all that. And you'll be surprised how much people are you, or how much they are noticing you. I walk down the streets of especially GRA, New GRA, where I have gone to several schools for Energy for Me. I see a lot of students who be like, oh, good afternoon, ma'am. Some that still remembers my name. Good afternoon, Auntie Dorcas. I smile and I answer, but God in heaven knows I don't remember their face. All I tell myself is I probably met this person in one Energy for Me or one ALP I went to deliver, of course. And then, of course, too, it creates you that visibility in your local section or even international space. And then, of course, it gives you tangible networking opportunity, because either way you go to a university to deliver an ALP, you get to meet maybe the faculty sponsor or somebody that was there at that ALP. I got to meet Sheena, that is co-lecturing with me today via ALP when we had an event with Ghana section. I think it was during Nigerian independence, and we had some kind of event there. So that was my first time of meeting her. Thereafter, I was able to meet her again when planning a particular women empowerment program or women leadership program. So you see, being an ALP instructor and a lecturer going out to deliver ambassador lectures creates you that tangible, not just ordinary networking opportunity, but tangible networking opportunity that will definitely be useful for you in the future. Okay, so that's all I have for us, and I'll welcome our questions and answer section when that comes. So you can note them down, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for this presentation. So if there's one thing I heard you say clearly, like continuity. So it's one thing for you to be an expert at what you do, and it's one thing for you to also train people that can sustain what your legacy you've built or what you're building. So it's important that we know that, okay, this is something that has been helping the lives of people, going out, educating students and YPs, and then, okay, there's somebody that is good at it. But if that person is not there, then what happens? So it's important that we train people to be like us or do better than we are doing to sustain whatever we plan on achieving. Okay. So thank you so much, Dorcas. And then you mentioned something about knowledge base, that you get better at speaking, and it's actually true. Just like in school, if you want to, if you are teaching somebody a course or a subject, And there's sometimes when you start teaching them, you realize that, oh, okay, this can also work. This you also learn in the process. So it's important that we take all this, we note all this she has said, that it's something that it's beneficial to both you and whoever that you're speaking to, or the audience you're speaking to. And I think on some of the important things she mentioned, like why we actually need it, or says visibility, public speaking. So I know a lot of people are shy and they don't like to go to public places and all that. We can start with few people. I know if you go to secondary schools, they're not as much as you expect. Maybe we have a YP section or so. You can actually start little, and it can help you build your public speaking skills. Okay, so thank you so much, Dorcas. Thank you so much for that presentation. Okay, if you have any question, please do well to drop them in the chat. So we'll take those questions alongside the panel section. So the people that are going to be in the panel section, Justice Bidigor, Mistura, and Shina. So they are going to be in the panel section. So please, if you have questions, anything that you want to find out relating to ALP energy for me, please do well to leave them in the comment section. Okay. So kicking off the panel section. So I don't know, just in like let's say just a brief talk on what you understand by, like, in your own terms, if they should ask, okay, what will you say ALP is? Like, so I'm talking to Justice, Shina, and Mr. So I think we just take it one after the other. So what's ALP? Like in your own terms, in your own word, obviously ALP is to you. And okay, so we'll start with, I think let me say ladies first. Okay, so Mistura, so please just like briefly just tell us, okay, what you think ALP is, or what you think it should be, just briefly. All right, Mistura.
Okay, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, so as the name implies, Ambassador Lecturer Program, it's more like you being an ambassador of SPE, going out there to talk to people about SPE. And the beautiful thing about ALP is it's a personal experience. It's a real life, unbiased experience. Like, you're telling people what you do. And I can tell you that's like the most easiest type of presentation to do, because you are not going online to make any research about something or what you've learned or what else it is. You see you talking about yourself. So it comes easy and selfless. And okay, yeah, Dorcas has actually said a whole lot, like you learn public speaking skills and several others. But I tell you, it's really a learning platform. And ALP is not restricted to just secondary schools or universities. It's a catch them young activity. You can even go down to nursery school and primary school. And you might think it's very easy going down there. These children ask lots of questions. And you'll be amazed at the question they will ask you. So either place you are going to present or wherever you're going to, just make sure you're prepared and you're able to give the desired experience that is needed. And outside that, SPE recognizes ALP, the lecturers. I think they started this last year. So it's not just the section that is being recognized. You that gave the lecture is being recognized. So that's another way to actually encourage people to give ALPs. Thank you. I'll leave the floor for others to share their experience.
Okay, thank you so much, Mistura. Okay, thank you so much. You said it's an opportunity for you to talk about what you know. So it's also something to note, because if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't effectively say anything about it. So the opportunity for you to like say what you know about a particular topic. Okay, thank you so much, Mistura. So Shina, please can you just kindly give us briefly what's your own idea of ALP? Hello, Shina, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, Shina.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, good. So Mr. already said what she said, so I don't even need to repeat it, but the key part of what I would just want to reiterate is the fact about sharing our experiences, because I've realized that sometimes when you share your experience, it's more practical. What you are telling the people is coming from something that you have done. And then it's also another way of encouraging the students and the young ones in the various aspects and the various roles in the industry, because there are a lot of them who, when they hear about just, especially Society of Petroleum Engineers, as the name itself make people think is only petroleum engineers, but there are several other careers and sectors within the industry that so many of the young people do not know about. So this ambassador lecture program also is another way of informing them of the various opportunities that they have. And it is not open for only petroleum engineers. So you will get so many of them so amazed when you tell them, see, this is what we do. I, for example, I'm a geologist, and they get surprised when you tell them I've done this and the work you're doing is the same as someone with an engineering degree is doing, or you are doing something that someone with an engineering degree is doing, you're doing the same thing. But the industry is totally different from what you've learned in school or the certificate. The certificate is just a first step. I always tell people, what you have in school in your hand is just the step for you to go through the door, and then you go into the industry. But when you come in, the things you learn it's so much. So this is the ALP program is just another way of encouraging the young ones, letting them know that, see, we have so many opportunities in different areas, and it's not only about being a petroleum engineer, but so several other things are available that you can grow your career in and be successful. Thank you. Hello, Chidera.
Oh. Hello, hi, Shina.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shina. So, Justice. Okay, so just briefly tell us.
Okay, so you're hearing me, right? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, Justice, I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to be careful not to repeat what has been said. But ALP, I'll call it in one word, evangelism. So evangelism can be so many ways. Yeah, but it's actually you just giving back what you know after your own life experiences and actually the current time. Like I was talking about petroleum engineering and all that. Most of us that were in school is when through ALP we knew that okay, even though they're petroleum engineer, I was a petroleum engineer, but even though they're petroleum engineer, can also be in the oil and gas as far as it has something to do with now it's even the energy industry. So ALP is just evangelism, and evangelism about the energy industry, and also your real life experience, the experiences that you actually thought that you couldn't come out from it. That when you came out, you were saying, was this me? Did I do this? Did I do that? So real life experiences share with the young ones, the ones in the nursery and primary ALPEnergy4Me, share with the ones in secondary school for ALP, and even the ones in university for ALP. Share them. Most of them are passing through these challenges, and actually they want this words of encouragement and also their key industry trends. So that's ALP. I'll stop here. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Justice. Thank you so much for that. Evangelism. Okay, that's nice. So okay, Dorcas, I don't know if you're still on the call, yeah?
Yes, I am very much.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to add you to this panel section. So I have a question. During your presentation, you mentioned something about skills, content-related expertise, convey-related expertise, and all that. So for someone who doesn't have any of this, but wants to be involved, how can they manage? Like that wants to be like a trainer, how can that person manage without like having any of these skills also?
Okay, now when we say you don't have content or conveying a story in management skills, it's a bit difficult for me to accept or understand, because you are a student somewhere. For you to be a young professional member, you were a student somewhere that have graduated. So that means you graduated from a certain space. So even if that is all you have, you are an expert. The fact that you were able to graduate, you are an expert in that space, at least at that level of a recent graduate level, right? So yeah, but just in case you still feel, oh, I don't have that skills, say communication skills and all that, it's something you build. Yeah. Some people were born with golden spoon or silver spoon, diamond spoon. Some were not even born with a spoon at all. But as time went on, as the years passed by, these persons that were without spoon molded their own spoons. Some were able to mold gold spoons for themselves, diamond, silver. Some were able to mold a wooden spoon, and some still continued not having any spoon. So it's really up to that person. What I'll tell such a person is start. Just start. How do you start? Join people that are already been doing this thing, okay? Even if all you do is just go and look at what they are doing, right? Just go and look. From looking, you get used to how this thing is done. And one day you might even be the one yourself to say, oh, can I try this out? So yeah, so you can build those skills by just starting and just paying attention, being there when you're actually there, right? Don't have your mind somewhere in the clouds or in the space. So that's how it is. Then for the case of, okay, you're not an expert, get to the work, get your hands dirty by studying, listening to YouTube video on that area you want to go and share with the children, and all that. And don't forget, these are younger generations you are going to share your knowledge with, right? They are not industry professionals or senior members. They are either children or undergraduate students, which you have passed that stage. So you don't have to go there with spooky smoke coming out of your head knowledge. Just let them hear that phase that you have passed, and that is good enough. Okay, so yeah, so that's another thing the person needs to understand in creating that content expert ability or space. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. Thank you. So just that's the keyword. Just that. Attend other ALPs and just watch what they're doing, and it will help you. So Dorcas, another question to you from someone in the chat. Just to ask a basic question, what is the scope of ALPs and ALPEnergy4Me?
Okay,
the scope of ALPs.
Yeah, I got, this is a bit, how do I put it? Okay, now when you say the scope for ALP, I'm guessing you're saying what is allowed to teach or to have or to conduct during ALPs, yeah? Okay, when you talk about the scope of ALP, remember, first of all, what is the ALP like they defined earlier? It is simply ambassador lecturer program. So you are delivering a lecture as an ambassador of SPE. If you're an ambassador of Nigeria, what is your job? To represent Nigerian rights, to plead on the behalf of Nigerians, to create relationship for Nigerians, to build that bridge between Nigeria and, I'm sure he means the eligible audience. Okay, well, in case that's what he means, but I'm just saying, if you're supposed to be an ambassador for anybody or any product or a country, your job is to sell that product, okay? If there's a gap between the consumer and the producer, your job is to create that bridge for them to be able to meet each other, right? So there's a gap between the students and the industry. So as an ambassador lecturer, your job is to create the bridge that would close that gap, all right? So if you're talking about the scope for ALP, anything those students need to know to bridge that gap is what you should be sharing, is what you should be doing, is what you should be conducting in the ALP and Energy4Me space. And then, of course, when you go to the Energy4Me space, you're talking about secondary school students. These secondary school students are aspiring to be engineers, they're aspiring to be doctors and lawyers and all. So in the case of an energy professional, everything that has to do with energy, you're meant, which is what SPE stands for. So you're meant to go to that secondary school, conduct experiments, deliver lectures, pass informations, give them news or details about SPE that is within the energy space. Yeah. So if that's what you mean by scope, yes. But if he's talking about the eligible audience, honestly, I think everybody's eligible because when you say ALP, when you talk about the energy space, even the social sciences and the art students and the science students, you will find every single one of them in the energy industry. So the eligible audience can be both art students and science students when you go out for ALP. So yeah.
Okay, so someone is also asking, just I think to round up this question, is the scope, is it limited to only secondary, university or primary school? Or it's spread across like other aspects, or it's just secondary schools, like schools, secondary, university, primary?
Okay, now if you go by the definition of ALP, which is young professional going to industry knowledge or experience with school students, yes, you will want to keep energy for ALP for within the university space, and then Energy4Me within the secondary and primary school students. But like I said, I met Madam Shina via an SPE event. Okay, because again, like I said, an ambassador is someone that sells that product. So there can be a launch and learn events, and you go and you present an ALP. Now, in this case, you're doing it more of membership, more of convincing that audience to want to be an SPE member. Do you understand? Yes, you're not doing it as per going to share your industry knowledge or so. You're doing it more as going to do membership drive, right? So in some cases, they still call it ALP, yeah. But yes, but also you can extend Energy4Me to even down to nursery school students. Yeah. I have had them for nursery school, even pre-nursery. There are coloring books and stuff for little children that you can print off the internet from SPE website that has information about energy, products gotten from energy, what energy is all about. So you can take those coloring books down to nursery school students, and all they do is just color it. But they are seeing something, they are doing something. And I tell you, it still does send a message or make sense to at least some of them who can actually grasp what is there. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. So basically, it's the category of the audience that gives it its name. So like she mentioned, if it's nursery or primary school with Energy4Me, then if it's secondary school, if okay, university, sorry, if it's university, it's ALP, then I think to the professionals, it's launch and learn. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you. So back to Ms. Tura. So I want to ask a question, Ms. Tura. Okay, let me check. Okay, can I come in? Okay, yes, Ms. Tura, yes, you can. You can say.
So I just wanted to add to what Dorcas was saying about the question the person asked with respect to scope. If you go to the SPE website, you can actually download a generic presentation slide that SPE has put together that you can edit to suit your requirements. So if you check it, you get to see that there are different things you talk about, telling people the kind of degrees they can actually attain, telling you can actually reach out to primary school students. And just as Doka said, still on the same SPE website, you can actually download material. So you see they are categorized. There's material for secondary school, material for preschool, and several others like that. Even when filling, because after your ALP, what makes it count for your section is you registering on the SPE portal. So there's this link that you get to fill about your experience, then SPE records it as an ALP for your school. So even ALPEnergy4Me you can do ALPEnergy4Me for universities, but it's going to be like a train the trainer session so they can reach out to these schools, because it's not just YPs that do ALP. The ALP that YPs do counts for your section, but the ALPs that student chapters do count for their chapters because they also submit reports. So everybody is like doing these activities for themselves. So, but when giving the report to Nigerian Council, the section actually reports what the student chapter has done and what the section has done. But for SPE International, you as a section and the student chapters have to register their ALPs separately, so it counts for them. So when you check this, when filling the form, they will ask you, where did you go to? So there's university, there's secondary school, there's primary school. So that's to show you that that scope, it's open to anybody. And just as Doka said, even nursery school students, they work with colors, lines, and the like. So these things actually stick when they talk, when they do these activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rak. Thank you so much. So I think there's like it's easier when we actually go to the website, because since there is already a template for all of this. So thank you so much for that knowledge, Mr. Rak. Thank you so much. So just to ask further, I know when you were talking about ALP, that's Mr. Rak, the question is to you. So when you were talking about ALP, you mentioned something about like students will be asking you a lot of questions and all of that. So what do you do when they ask you a question that you can't answer? Like, oh, okay, I prepared enough for this, but then suddenly a question comes in, because we know these kids are smart, they're smart. And then they ask you something like, oh, okay, I didn't prepare for this, and then you're just there. So what do you do when you find yourself in such situations like this?
Okay, I know that's going to be an awkward situation because, like I said, students are very inquisitive. So one thing you can do is, one, before going for the ALP, you might want to go with someone else. That's one advice before you go for your ALP. You can make it to lecturers. So when they ask questions, probably out of your field or something, you could tell the person to meet you after the session. So then you meet the person personally and let the person, okay, this is my scope. Probably the person asks a question with respect to maybe electrical engineering because that's what he wants to study. And you already mentioned that the SPE is a big community that accommodates everybody in its space. So they're not asking you something related to electrical engineering, and you probably you're a process engineer, a petroleum engineer. So you call the person aside after the event. Okay, I think Sheena wants to come in on that too. So you would just explain to the person afterwards, then direct them to probably the SPE website or where they can actually get answers. Or you should just, maybe when during their question and answer section, you can just quickly go online, browse, and just come up with something and give the person. So I think Sheena wants to add to this question.
Yes. And I think it's also a good opportunity. Like I like what you said to say that in case you don't know and you have someone with you, they can explain. Or if both you and the person who you have with you are not able to tell them, you let them know that they can meet you after the program. I think it's also a good opportunity to let them know that no one person is a reservoir for all knowledge. So because that is one thing that makes a lot of the youth or the young people also scared of going out there to do all these ALP programs and the ALPEnergy4You and all that, because they are scared that what if I go and then somebody asks me a question and I'm not able to answer. So it is very, very good to also let them know practically that you, the one who is even standing there and you're supposed to be an expert and you're teaching them, your expertise also only lie in a certain area. So there's a broad field out there. You are not expected to know everything, and it is okay to let them know that I can meet you after the program and then we can both research and give you the answers, or I can direct you to someone in my office who is more of an expert in that area, and they can help you. So let's not make it seem like I know it everything. I know all. I know how to answer everything from production to reservoir engineering to what seismic. It's no, nobody. You can't be. So it's a good opportunity to let the young ones know if you don't know, it is okay not to know. And you can spend time to research it, or they will direct you. You will direct them to somebody who knows or is an expert in that field and can help them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry to add to it. That could even create a one-on-one relationship with you and this person.
Exactly.
Because ALP is more like a crowd mentoring session. But sometimes when leaving an ALP, you actually get a one-on-one mentee mentor experience from there. So you could just pick up this person, because the person might be like, okay, can I get your phone number? They reach out and that's it, boom, for the person. You already have a mentee that you're going to bring up into the session. So that's another opportunity for the person and also for yourself.
Okay, yes, that's so true. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Yeah, that's so true. So nobody knows it all. Nobody has all the knowledge. So it's okay to seek for help. It's okay to say, okay, I will get back to you on something if we're not sure of it. So thank you so much, Shina. Thank you so much, Mistura. So quick question for you, Shina. So I know a lot of us, we've all had first times for everything. So we are not as we're not as good as we are now, but starting off. So I don't know, just to you, Shina. So what was your first experience like as a speaker, like an ALP, like how was the experience, your first experience? You've never spoken about it. So what was the experience like?
I think I'm trying to, even my first speaking engagement, even before SPE, probably would be, okay, so I've always loved volunteering. I've volunteered in SS and then the university. But I'll say when I started working in the industry, I was working in Cape Town, and then I was invited to come. There's a day that they bring a lot of students together for you to, it's a 1-day mentoring section, sort of like a fast-paced one. And then when you're there, you can continue the mentoring section beyond the event. And to be honest with you, I didn't know, I didn't know how it was going to go. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm a geologist, even though I started in the service company. For the service company, most of the time, it doesn't really matter what you did in the university. You all do the same thing. I did the field engineer training, full-time academy in MWD, so I could go offshore to drill as an MWD engineer, even though I'm a geoscientist. So, and the section was supposed to be for mentoring engineering students. So I was a bit scared. I didn't know, okay, when they go and they ask you, but you're a geologist, what are you doing here? And they are engineers. But I had to remember, or to try to let them know that, see, you were qualified enough to be hired to work in a service company. And I met people who had civil engineering background, they had mechanical engineering background. They were all not petroleum engineers, like I mentioned earlier. We all had different backgrounds in either the engineering or the sciences, and we all came together in the office. So the first time is always scary. You would not know, you would make mistakes. You will tremble at your words, or you stumble at your words sometimes. But it's, for me, I always see it as a learning curve. You see, if you tell yourself that whenever you have a speaking engagement, no matter how scared you are, even for the audience, it's always a learning curve for you to improve upon yourself, to gain more confidence. And I always try as much as possible to prepare, because at least if you prepare very well, that's already half of your confidence up already, because then you feel, okay, I know my stuff, or I've done enough preparation for this presentation. So, and I think Patrick would bear me witness. I kept bugging him behind on WhatsApp. Have you done this? Can I get this? Can I get that? How is it going to be? Do I have to do a PowerPoint presentation? So for me, it's always important for me to prepare ahead, because I feel when I'm prepared, then I am more confident in answering my questions, in delivering whatever presentation I have to give. So that is one key thing. When you're prepared, it gives you enough confidence, and whatever you're going to talk about, I mentioned earlier, you're not expected to know everything, but if you have enough knowledge on what you're going to talk about, it's enough. And then when you're done, you also try to reassess. If you're lucky that whichever session you were part of was recorded, you ask for the recorded version, look at it, replay it for yourself, and see, okay, this is where I'm supposed to have improved, or okay, I did well here, there's still more room for improvements. And then you keep doing it like that. So for me, I see every session that I'm invited to, whether in person or virtual, whether for young people or adults, no matter the audience, I always try as much as possible to learn something, to improve upon myself. Even my core panelists, like today, apart from Dorcas that we work together on previous programs, I've met Justice, I've met Mistura, and they're all well-spoken, and you, Chidera. So it's also a good place to network, get to learn from other people, and then also improve upon your confidence. So the first time doesn't always come out great like you would expect it. But hey, every expert was once an amateur. So you just have to step up and do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shina. Thank you. That was a really nice, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. So I think proper preparation also helps. Thank you for sharing that experience. Okay, so to the only guy on this panel, Justice. So I remember you mentioned something about evangelism when you were talking about ALP. Yeah, Justice, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Yeah, so I heard you mention something about evangelism. And then we know sometimes when we go for evangelism, it's not as we all imagine it to be. Sometimes we get good feedback, sometimes we get low feedback. So in times where you get low feedback, what do you do?
Okay. Yeah. So if I answer your question, you said ladies first, and I was like almost laughing. A lady is saying ladies first, so it was wonderful. Yeah, but I feel only being the only guy on the call, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm good. So for uh, low feedback, first of all, it means you're doing something, because the feedback is coming because there's something you're doing. And in this case, you had just had an ALP, you had an energy for me. So you're doing something. So like I've been on ALP, at least physical is more than, at least the least physical I've gone for is around 25, 30. Yeah. Sometimes it's more than 200. Yeah. Me and Dr. have gone for so many physicals. But for some online, sometimes it's 7, 10, 15, thereabouts. And sometimes the feedback you're giving is not as much. So there are some things that is beyond your control. You can't force people to give feedback, but you can always evaluate yourself and look, okay, am I doing something right? Is there something I'm doing wrong? And you evaluate yourself. The feedback it doesn't mean that there's something you're doing wrong. Actually, probably mean that you're understanding what you're doing perfectly well, or it just means that because for some time you can see that sometimes they can be a residual energy. People are they can meet up if they can actually follow up and all that. And there's another time everybody's trying to what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? So you should be able to manage those two moments when it comes. because definitely it will be coming as an ALP lecturer and also an Energy4Me ambassador. So those moments come when you have no feedback. So actually, you to reevaluate yourself. What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? If I'm doing the right thing, how can I make it better? You now have to reevaluate your audience. Okay, I came and gave it an ALP. How was the response? How was the reception? How did they take it? Okay, do I need to bring in some catchy phrases? Like sometimes when after my first ALP, when it was wonderful. It was not too. I had this threat to actually give. I had this actually the. I was threatened at first, but I didn't really struggle. Yeah, but after some point, I watched and I just said SP. Then they were saying oil and gas. Now we are saying clean energy, but they were saying oil and gas. And I say oil and gas SP, and people were like, I say clap for yourself, that kind of thing. And there was a connection. People were trying to smile. I could call somebody. So the feedback that comes, low feedback and high feedback, should not really be an issue. Should not really be an issue. But definitely after each ALP, you should evaluate yourself and re-evaluate yourself. What did I do? What did I not do? My crowd engagement, how did it go? Did I pass the right message? How can I do better? Yeah, so that's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Justin. Thank you for the feedback. So would be this other questions. Okay, somebody has a question in the chat. How can one volunteer to take part in such presentations to school? So I would like Dorcas to briefly answer this question. Please, because of time, just briefly answer the question. How can one volunteer to
It's very simple. Join
take
the ALP
part
team.
in such presentations?
Yeah, for Port Harcourt section, we have an ALP/Energy4Me committee, which Patrick, the host of this event, is a chair. So asking that question to private chat Patrick for his phone number and reach out to him. That's one way. Secondly, if you have a school around you, go to the school, tell them you want to, don't even petroleum engineers wants to come and speak to their students, and then get back to Patrick and say, oh, I've talked to this school and they say, yes, we can come. What's the next step? And Patrick would definitely guide you. It's an open thing to be able to achieve. Or you reach out to the YP chairperson, Mr. Justice himself, and he's on the call also. So either you send him a private chat message, or like I said, just directly on the group here, drop your phone number. I'm sure they'll be glad to reach out to you. So if you don't mind, just to add to the feedback something. Yeah, now recently we had a presentation in my office for a company, and a particular guy just kept on hitting us left, right, center, as if he dreamt about us, as in negative comments. And at some point voices were even about to be raised in the call, and one of us was able to calm the situation down and said, okay, we're going to come see you, and it looks like our explanation, you didn't really get it, so we're going to come and explain, have a one-on-one engagement with you. So that was how that situation was managed. But guess what? Immediately after that meeting, I was thinking my boss would be like, please, let's leave these people, the Anyanga is too much. No, rather what my boss said, you see that particular guy that was asking us 10 million questions, he is our friend. We need to go and meet him. So sometimes too, when you get that negative feedback, it might actually be real. Okay, so as much as you evaluate yourself, and yes, like Justice says, definitely you should, because sometimes it's just negative energy, right? So evaluate yourself first, but still take out a time, a minute or two, reach out to that. If you can find the person that did the negative feedback or a low feedback, reach out and find out what was really the situation, or how can I get better or so. Yeah, try to make, my point is just try to make that person your friend, like my boss said. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. Thank you for the feedback. I'm sure they've answered the question. So just to add, the ALP committee, we're actually working on something like to reach out to some schools. So if you're interested to join the committee, you can just send me a DM or send Patrick a DM to join the committee. Okay, thank you so much for that, Dorcas. So Ms. Tura, you said you wanted to answer a question in your DM. So I don't know if the question has been answered or you want to answer it.
Someone actually reached out, like sent me a DM and asked, like I said, I'm a process engineer. How did I get to that role? So I feel I should not answer that question in the DM because there might be other people that might benefit from the answer. So I think being a process engineer is just a title. What you're doing at work that's actually giving you the title? You could be a petroleum engineer, you could be a process engineer. I mentioned earlier in my when they read my profile, said I studied, okay, so my school was not there. I studied chemical engineering, actually, chemical and polymer engineering from Lagos State University. And I stated I'm married to an engineer. Funny enough, my husband is also a process engineer, but he studied metallurgy and materials engineering. So you can see it's just the role you take at work that actually gives you the title. And cheers to my husband because he's actually on this call also. So just learning from one another. So process engineering is just a role. What you do at work is what gives you the title. About you transforming probably raw materials to finished products, that's what gives you the title. If you're working in an FMCG and you're a process engineer, you're working in the refinery and process engineer. So just knowing that you're moving from one stage to another is what gives you that title. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think following up with Mustura, somebody also asked me similar question in my DM. I don't know whether it's a lady or okay, I can see the name. It's a guy who also said he's in the final year university as a geologist in the making. Please, how can I become an operation geologist? So in case there are other geologists or people in geology on the call as well, I'll just there are different ways in getting into this role. I started off in the service company as a geoscientist. So I did double in LWD and wireline logging, like my profile read earlier on. And then from there, I did a bit of drill bits. So when I came for the interview for the role, they also asked if I had some offshore experience. So because as an operations geologist, you have all the service company under you reporting to you and also the well site geologist. And ideally, if you've been offshore, it helps you to better do the role. So as an operations, it's good if you have an experience as a, let's say I have another colleague who had surface logging. She was a mad logger in Schlumberger. And then there was also another guy who also trained as a wireline engineer. So those are some of the key things that you manage under operation geology. So having an offshore experience is very important. If you have an offshore experience, then when you go into the role, if anything is happening offshore and the person, they report to you, you're able to relate. So you either start off in any of the service company as a LWD engineer or MWD engineer or wireline engineer or a mad logger or data scientist, or you can enter the operator company straight as a well site geologist, because the offshore experience, that one is key. Once you do any of those roles, then coming into operation geology is pretty much straightforward. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
But
thank you so much.
I'll let the person, I've sent them my LinkedIn so that we can continue this chat away from here too. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shina. So thank you. Because of our time and just quick questions for the three panelists before we round up the section. So briefly, I would start with, okay, I'll start with you, Justice. Quickly, please, briefly, just tell us how has being an ALP lead for 3 consecutive board years influenced you professionally to become a YP chair? So like, how has it influenced you? So just give us a brief response.
Okay, yeah. No, you said it is just you're just sounding like shallow. Because 3 budgets. I think Dockers was one of the chair. Yeah, Ikena, they're not free. So those no, not free. Ikena, Dockers, and yeah, Ikena twice too. So it's quite challenging, but it's something that has impacted me personally very, very much. First of all, value. Uh, the value I got actually, but these kids are ready to bamboozle, especially when you go to secondary school. They can ask questions and they will ask you. Sometimes you cannot even. I think I'm sure I was saying that you tell them that in secondary school you will not. Sometimes you cannot even tell them that kind of. They would laugh at you. Yeah, I've not actually got that experience, but they are very, very inquisitive. So value and knowledge has been built, and this value has even influenced me too. Yeah, because as an ALP team lead for 3 years actually, uh, is actually built what I need to do, even leadership skills. Because definitely, as part now is the ALP team lead. He has an assistant team lead, which is a Fidera. They have different things. They have people that are logging, people that do this, and people that do that. So they have different things. So it builds the leadership skill. And it's not that I know I'm learning, but I know that it has built my leadership skill to a massive. Yeah, that has been an ALP team lead for those 3 years. And also volunteering. Volunteering is something I like doing. So it came naturally. So it actually increased my value to want to say yes to things that actually building me. So when the young professional share position came on, it was just like, okay, this is what we have been doing. Let's continue. So it actually really impacted on me, and that was actually the first YP committee I joined when I started as a YP, and I'm really happy I joined that committee. I'm really, really happy. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the experience. Thank you, Justice. Okay, so over to you, Ms. Tura. So as the YP rep for Africa, what are the challenges you think students face going out to schools and universities for ALP? And like, what ways can we mitigate them? So just like briefly tell us challenges you think students
Okay.
and ways they can handle them.
I know there are different challenges and some might be personalized actually. I know we mentioned a few, talking about probably stage fright. You might think you are ready and you stand on the stage and you just go like silent and you don't even know the next thing to say. Just like Justice, I think Justice gave a solution to that. He said at some point it was just saying SP and they were responding, and at some point, probably at that moment, you try to get yourself. So one thing is, one, train, retrain, like just continue training actually. Follow people for other ALP section. You might not be talking. Just go with them, say how it is. So it's more like I always call it mentorship. It's you learning from this other person. So probably the next one you're going to, you just tell the person, can I be like an anchor to assist you? You might not really talk. You might just introduce the person. At that point in time, you're actually training yourself to stand on that stage. I remember my first experience ever talking to people. It was still in secondary school, funny enough. I used to run away from people. I was categorized as a very shy person. So that day, next thing, okay, they were giving prefects and they were like, okay, I was thinking about being maybe assistant head girl or so. They were like, no, we don't have any Muslim lady that will represent us. So you need to be the assistant assembly prefect. I was like, are you serious? In a school where you have more than 2,000 students, I will stand in front of them. You would not believe I could not sing the national anthem when I was called to sing it. This is something I've been singing since I was born. So that's how awkward those situations can actually be. So then with time, I started like gaining confidence. So that's actually how you get to do it. So that's probably for the fidgets in the public speaking space. Then for questions, we talked about that. Just try to let them know this is a scope thing. No one can know it. No one is an island of knowledge. So you might not really have answers to everything. And okay, sometimes to even reaching out to some schools, You get to the school and the principal is like, no, you're not allowed, either because of government policies or they themselves don't feel they are ready to have you. So aside that, like I said, most of them are actually personified issues. So if you know you have any issue, reach out to people. SB big space. If you are not comfortable with the section chair, I'm sure you might be comfortable with the YP chair. If not, even if it's somebody that, even if it's just the section admin, just reach out to somebody. Go to the SPE website. One thing is we don't utilize the SPE website as much as we ought to. There are different groups you can join. You get to see people asking questions. You can volunteer in different spaces. So from there, you get to learn till you are like bold enough to actually give this talk. And or like I said, and I would close it with this. Please do not forget to register your ALP. SP is counting it for your section. And this is what gives your section the room to actually win this award. And you as a person that can also get recognized by SPE. So that's another way to actually motivate you to do these things. When you're recognized, you get to the SPE website, you see your name, or probably even on LinkedIn, or you get to people's name and you're like, oh, I really want to get to that space. So that's the way to actually encourage you, then probably mitigate some of these fear or challenges that can come around. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Tura. Okay, so I think we'll wrap up the section. So Sheena, please, is there, okay, this question is for you directly. So is there like a qualification for you to become an ALP lead, or anyone can be part of the ALP team? Is there a qualification?
Yes, once you're a young professional in Society of Petroleum Engineers, you're good to be. And you should, to be an ALP ambassador. Or you want to be if you want to be lead, then you need to do more of the lectures, go around a lot of the schools and also build your confidence, and then you should be. But to be an ALP ambassador, once you're a young professional and you're a registered member of SP, that's enough qualification to be. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all our panelists. Thank you, Sheena. Thank you, Ms. Tura. Thank you, Justice. It was really nice time. I learned a lot. I don't know if any other person did, but all these feedbacks, like, are all amazing. The experiences shared. So there's actually nothing to be scared about. Everybody had their first time. For people that want to join ALP, you can just reach out in my DM or Patrick's DM. Just reach out, I would add you to the team. So it's not, as Patrick would say, it's not a rocket science. As long as you're an SP member, you can be part of the ALP team. You just need to probably understudy other people to be better at what you do, or overcome stage fright. So it's not really like a big deal. You need to get a degree for this and all of that. No. So you can just join the team to get a better experience about what's all about. Okay. So thank you so much. I don't see another question on the chat. So I think that will be all for this panel section. So moving on to the next on our agenda is the membership drive, and we'll have our own assistant YP lead to take us on that. That's Emanuela Abo. So please let's make welcome Emanuela Abo for the membership drive.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chidera. Good afternoon, everyone. And good any other time of the day if you're currently not in West Africa. I want to first of all say a big thank you to the speakers, because to be honest, every person that spoke today, you could hear the passion for ALP from their voices. You know that these people are seasoned ALP speakers. They have made sacrifices, to ensure that impact is being created always, and the funnel or the pipeline towards getting young talents into the energy industry is being sustained. So on behalf of all the students around the world, I know that you have spoken to all our speakers. I'm sure you have spoken to hundreds of students. I'm saying a big thank you on their behalf. And it's also good to hear Ms. Tura and Shina speak. So Justice and Dorcas, they're already in my section, and I think I talked to them every other day. But Ms. Tura and Shina, they are people that I would say I've only heard of. I've never heard them speak. So it's a good opportunity. So thank you. Well, I'm taking a membership drive today, as you already know, and it's critical. Or I think it's timely that we're taking a membership drive. Please confirm if you can hear me. I just heard the beep sound.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, Ella, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we just talked about ALPs and how we can actively participate in ALPs, and I can see the excitement from the room. And with the speakers talked extensively about making this ALP count for your section and being an ALP ambassador. In the last birthday, I was privileged to be an ALP ambassador myself. Well, let me shock you. If you're not registered as an SP member up to date, you will not be able to you will not be able to log in that ALP for yourself because your membership is not up to date. It is important for you to have up to date membership. I know we have a mixed audience. Maybe we have people here that are not SP members, or we have people that are SP members, but for some reason their membership is not updated. I just want to encourage you that if you truly want to create impact by delivering ALPs, it's important that you have your ALPs or your membership, SP membership up to date. If you need any support as to registering as an SP member, as if you're not an SP member, or if you need support updating or renewing your membership, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, and on all the group chats. You can reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help you sort it out. Even if you have years of non-renewal, maybe you have not renewed your membership since you left university and left university a while ago, no worries. We have done this for so long, so I know how we can sort that out. Yeah, so don't be scared. You can reach out to me. Even ways in which maybe moving on, you can actually get waivers or a year free. Like this year that we are coming, next year I got this year free of charge, paid for by SP as a gift for registering people or encouraging people to join SP. Next year, I still have it free of charge for myself. So it can be you too if you encourage your friends to join SP. So I wouldn't want to go through the benefits of being an SP member and all that. You can see it here. The speakers have already talked about it. So if you want to, or whenever you want to renew your membership, we're already approaching the end of the year. November, December is already time to renew your membership. So reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you out. Or any other membership committee on the, I have my assistant, Robinson. Robinson, you can just drop a chat or your number in the comment section, and we're always available to help you out. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Thank you. Chidera, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ella. Thank you. So please, SP is a nice place to be and volunteer. So just send a chat if you want to join or register. Thank you, Ella, for that. Okay, moving on quickly, it's announcement. So Justice, please just quickly take the announcement so we could take the closing remark, and that will be all.
Okay, so announcement. Before I take the announcement, I'm seeing some dignitaries. We are all dignitaries actually. Yeah, I just want to actually for them to say hi. Just say hi. So my predecessor, Opure Ogude, is on the call. Please can you just unmute and say hi? Okay. Okay. Opure, are you there? Okay. Yeah. So also,
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I wasn't able to unmute at the time. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. YP Chair, good evening. So the panelists, thanks so much for your time. It's been an enlightening session. Thanks for sharing your SP story and encouraging everyone to be part of it. It's always great to volunteer. And of course, ALPs, I see it as a way of giving back. So if there's any opportunity for that, I would always encourage people to jump on it and see how you can impact and give back. I think this training is quite apt for those that have been doing it before. It's kind of like a refresher, and those that are about embarking on a fantastic, amazing journey. So thank you so much for all you continue to do for SPE, and super duper thanks to the organizers, Patrick and team, for the amazing work. Yeah, thanks YP Chair and YP Co-Chair too. Well done, guys.
Okay, thank you, Ofri. Justice, I don't know if you're still on the call. Can anybody hear me?
I can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Justice, I don't know. Are you still on the call? You can continue with the announcement.
Hello, Chidera.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I don't know if maybe he's having network issue. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Energy Champions. Thank you all for
Good
your
evening.
time.
Okay.
Thank you all for making our time to attend this program. Thank you, our panelists. We are all energy champions automatically. As Ms. Tura quoted, every expert was once an amateur. I'm going home with that. Thank you, Sina, for all your input, ensuring we deliver a sustainable train-the-trainer workshop. It's truly a learning curve and opportunity for us all. I just want to quickly share an experience I had with Justice. We went to Top Line Secondary School, Port Harcourt, sometime last year to deliver an ALP. The students were so clever that after the session, I promised myself that every day I must read my geography textbook for at least 5 minutes. Hello, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Patrick.
Okay, so ALP for me is a learning opportunity. Just like Shena said, it's a learning curve, it's a refreshing moment. Anytime you go out there to talk to these students, to talk to these kids, to talk to the university students and young professionals, the impact alone, whether you are getting positive or negative feedback, you are getting better yourself. Okay? Docker, I thank you so very much. The first time I came down to Port Harcourt was just you. It converted me automatically to an ALP champion. And it's safe to say today that I am the ALP lead, not just for the sake of the word, but because I put in the work out there. I can't thank you enough. Okay. Like I said earlier on, we're all energy champions on and off the job. Wherever you find yourself, in the church, in the market, the idea is to help profile innovative clean energy solutions to help combat climate action and help achieve net zero goals. So I encourage each and every one of us to volunteer more, okay? Whether you are a young professional, whether you are a student, wherever you find yourself, okay? Preach that gospel. In this era of energy crisis, what are you bringing to the table? In your house, okay? People are still suffering from energy poverty. So energy security is actually our mantra. As we have automatically become ambassadorial lecturer experts, okay, wherever we find ourselves, we preach the gospel to all the woman leaders on board. Shena, Misty, Dorcas, Ofure, all the young professionals. We are all energy champions, and I'm a he for she ambassador too. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for the constructive feedback. I thank you for making it possible for this program to be an effective program. The impact that we made is global. Thank you, everyone. So over to you, Chidera.
Okay, thank you, Patrick, for the closing remarks. So I think Justice is back on the call. Justice, please, could you just give the announcement for close?
Okay. Sorry. I think network happened that I got kicked out. So also another senior member is going to be a full if I don't. So please, Jinaima Agiaye, please can you just say hi and just say how if I continue. Okay, I think it's problem with my network. My guy is a senior member that assisted also. I also have some of the YP leads on the call. Manila, my assistant, there. Laura, the reporting team lead is there. Relo, Jerry, I thought that the YP character lead is there. Robinson, Manila assistant, that's the membership team lead is also here too. So for upcoming programs, we are having a YP MTS. Is the first for the MTS. MTS is a monthly technical series. So we'll be having the first one, and that'll be happening on Wednesday the 27th. And I don't know if you have that picture. It was not added to this slide, but and if you have it, you can suggest it. If you have it, fine. Okay, but the title is Corrosion Management in the Oil and Gas Industry. That'll be happening on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. On 30th, they're having the hangout, YP hangout with senior director, the section director, with SD. So that's going to be a very, very fun one, interactive, educative. Yeah. If you want to see the SD that were there 10 years ago, 10 years ago, who was there? Said around, I actually forgot more. SD that were there 10 years ago, just you're going to see them. So that was going to happen in 30 years, and it's going to happen at SD House. And the 2nd of October, we are having a visit to the home of the elderly, celebrate Nigeria independence, and also an International Day for the elderly people. So that was all for announcement. Just stick close and very, very close actually to this space. When I think back in Manila, so there are so many benefits cannot be overemphasized. So make sure you actually grab them and register if you're not. If your registration has a lapse, please do that as a new one. Thank you very much. Chida, you can take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Justice, for the announcements. So lastly, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks to our trainer, Dorcas. Thank you so much for that section, and to our panelists, Shina, Mistura, Justice. Thank you so much for all the experiences you shared. And this event would not hold without the wonderful audience. So everyone that joined in on the call, thank you so much for lending us your time. Thank you so much. I hope everyone learned a lot. Okay, Simeon said pictures. So, okay, at this moment, so please turn on your cameras and smile as we take pictures. Okay, Simeon, so you could just tell us when you're ready. So everybody can turn your cameras now.
Okay, I'm ready when you are ready. Yeah, some videos are still coming up. Yeah, what is this? Some people are not turning their video on. We are still waiting.
Okay, no, I also talked about students getting data. So if you're a student on the call, please send your phone number to Chidera and yeah. Just
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Shina. Thank you, everyone. So we started the meeting off with the prayer. So I don't know, somebody could just volunteer to pray for us so that we can close.
Okay, let me close it out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank Almighty God for sparing our lives, because this event has been planned prior to now, and for you making it a success, because I believe we all learned a lot. May you give us the knowledge and understanding to really give that impact when we go out there, and for people to understand all we are going to see and benefit ourselves, the section, and SP as a whole. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Ras. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Misty. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Doctor. Thanks, Misty. Thanks,
Thank you,
Shina.
everyone.
Thanks, Patrick. Thank you, everyone.